Hi, it's Jasmine, and you're watching my channel, The Curious Whitecoat. I personally feel that we can learn so much from the stories of people that have come before us. So for this Black History Month, I wanted to share a little bit of American history and dedicate this Melanin Moment of Magic to the very first African-American woman to earn a medical degree in the United States, Dr. Rebecca Crumpler. Unfortunately, not a lot is known about Dr. Crumpler's life. We know that she was born on February 8th in 1831 in Delaware, and that growing up she was very heavily influenced by the work of her aunt, who was a nurse. In fact, she was actually so positively influenced by her aunt that she would later become a nurse herself in the early 1850s. Then, just fast forward a couple of years, and in the year 1860, she was admitted to the New England Female Medical College. Now, let's put this into perspective. In that same year, there were about 54,000 people practicing as physicians in the United States, and only 300 of them were women, and Dr. Crumpler was the only African-American woman. In that following year, 1861, the American Civil War would begin. So Dr. Crumpler was literally practicing, learning how to become a doctor in the middle of a history-changing war. Also, a few decades earlier, in the 1830s, you have the very first African-American to even be able to practice as a physician in the United States. That was Dr. James McCune Smith. However, he wasn't able to receive his medical degree within the United States and actually had to go to the University of Glasgow because he was refused his right to education here in America. In 1920, there would be about 65 African-American women who were working as physicians in the US, but then rewind back to the 1860s in Dr. Crumpler's time, and there was a lot of heavy bias against women even practicing as physicians. Some male doctors had this view that women were too delicate and lacked the physical strength required to practice medicine. Clearly, Dr. Crumpler and others proved them wrong, because Dr. Crumpler graduated with her medical degree in 1864, and she was actually the only African-American woman to graduate from the New England Female Medical College, which later closed in 1873. After medical school, Dr. Crumpler practiced around Boston, but then in 1865, when the Civil War ended, she felt a calling to go to Virginia and work with the Freedmen's Bureau. Working with the Freedmen's Bureau allowed her to help take care of people who had been previously enslaved, and she was also able to work with different charity and missionary groups, which is something that she had a passion for. Throughout her career, she had a drive for improving the health of women and children, and she actually wrote one of the very first medical books to be published by an African American called A Book of Medical Discourses in 2 parts, and it consisted of medical advice for women and infants. She returned to Boston and continued to practice medicine, particularly in pediatrics, and she often didn't even need to be compensated for her work. I think it's evident that she just really wanted to take care of others however she could. Although we don't have all of the pieces of her story, I feel that it's quite clear that Dr. Crumpler's compassion made up a very large part of who she was. From a young age, she discovered that she had this draw for taking care of those who needed it, and she acted on that. I hope that hearing about her story empowers you to persevere in the face of whatever obstacles you may come across in your future journey. Thank you so much for watching this video. I try to post new videos every week, so don't forget to subscribe to The Curious Whitecoat so that you can keep on track. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.